Okay, so what's going on? It's the Green Okie coming back at you again with another video. So today's topic, I'm going to uh, delve into the English teaching business in Japan. So essentially, today's topic is, should you work for an English dispatch company in Japan? So the question to this is yes and no, and I'm going to go into it. So essentially, that's when I got to Japan, I worked for a dispatch company and I was like working right at like 29.5 hours. I think it was just below full-time work that was considered in Japan. That way they can only pay me part-time benefits. So that right there, that'll let you know. So like I said, it's a business just like everywhere else. It's nothing different. But if you're coming there, willy nilly, and you kind of visit, and then you realize, hey, I want to teach here, then going the dispatch route will be the easiest way for you to attain some form of employment there. But long term, it is not recommended. And the reason for this is because essentially, if you work for different companies such as like the Hart Corporation, they may have you on like a 6-month contract. They may have you at these schools that don't necessarily have the best teachers, and they also may have teachers there that just don't like that company that you're working for, and they may try to basically force you to quit by being uncompromising while you're at work. Like I said, I had a situation when I was there, and this teacher, her name was like Mrs. Kobayashi, and she was very uncompromising, and she actually was very irresponsible whenever she was teaching. None of the kids knew anything what she was talking about. I didn't even know what she was talking about because there was no communication. And it was almost like she was trying to set me up to fail, even though the students respected me more than her in a sense. And I think she took extreme notice of that, and she became very jealous. She tried to always undercut my legs, and it became a very, can I say, even racist at points. Because I had a 3-cycle school that I had gone to, that I would go to every Friday, and one of the schools was hers, and I was totally fine at the other schools, but every time I came to this one school, her lesson plans weren't set up, and then she would blame everything on me. So it was like the way that she was teaching, it was so archaic and it was so drill like that it was like there's no point of even teaching, and I was trying to bring in new techniques for teaching, but she did not want to let the past go. So these are just one of the pitfalls that you could land in if you teach for a dispatch company, because when you work for a dispatch company, you never know where they could put you. And like I said, your contract term could be for 6 months, 3 months, a year. But the whole thing about that as well is that they're actually taking a majority of your money, because the BOE, they get contracted with the BOE, the Board of Education. So they're basically, you don't work for the BOE, you work for the Hart Corporation. So essentially what you want to do is work for an English dispatch company, have them pay for your instructor visa. So you'll go down to like Shinagawa and get like a stamp, and then they'll approve you for working legally in Japan. And then once you do that, this is when you need to start making the transition. Maybe in about 1 to 2 years, if you want to stay long term, to trying to find a BOE position that directly hires you. So now the BOE position, you should do exactly what those corporations do, which is basically go there during their business hours and put in an application, which you can also do online, but it's better if you do it in person as well. You know, having an aisatsu, an introduction of who you are, then let them know that, hey, I'm serious and I'm going to be working here, and then let them do that. You know, they'll believe you much more, and they're more apt to hire you if you do it in person there at the Board of Education office. So, like I said, the dispatch companies, they'll have your anxiety spiked. Yeah. And like I said, you have to be so perfect, and they most likely, it's about a 50-50 chance that they'll renew your contract, because they're always trying to get like new blood in here, that type of thing. They don't really want you to move up. They want you to kind of stay at that same rate. That way they can just take your money or whatever, and, you know, profit off of you, you see. So this is why you should transition to getting a BOE position. But yeah, some dispatch companies are better than others. Like the Hart Corporation, it's not one of the best, but it's something that will do when you first get to Japan. A better dispatch company, can I say, is maybe Interact or the Joy Talk Corporation. I worked for the Joy Talk Corporation, and they were very hospitable and welcoming. They even came and picked me up, and they basically brought me to a whole nother province just so I could teach. You know, of course, you know, you got to pay them back and stuff like that, but that's expected. But they will accommodate you if you don't have the means, but you have to pay them back, of course, that type of thing. But yeah, dispatch company in the short term, when you're first arriving, and then you can change dispatch companies in like 6 months to a year. But long term, if you're going to stay in Japan, then you're going to want a BOE position long term.